Y'all know what it is right here, right now. It is the Remix Morning Show. And it's day 2 of Scorpio season. In case y'all didn't know, I'm going to act up all month. That's right, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, but let me introduce you to our host with the most. We got no other than Dr. Jerry Bull. Hey, with the Bob going off crazy, Jackie Lugman.
Morning.
Wow.
Hey, what's
up, good people?
Yo. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. That's better.
All right.
All right. Hey.
You got the fresh Bob.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
like that.
congratulations.
I like that.
Well done.
Thank you. Hey, good morning. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Some of us, our daily hair choices are made for us.
Pretty much.
Basically, I'm sorry about that.
What we could do is deal with this little facial hair, beard,
I spend a lot of time with my facial hair to pretend like I got something to do.
Clipping a little clip.
Yeah, you should see. It's embarrassing how much money I've spent on clippers and stuff just to pretend like I said, like I got something to do.
Like you have something to groom.
Yeah.
When the last time you went to the barbershop?
Oh, man, I went maybe once in the last 5 or 6 years, and that was really just to take my cousin-in-law.
Yeah.
So I went and hung out. I got a little shape up. I got the fresh, full. Caesar Leo, and then hung out and talked trash.
That's the greatest, man. Ain't nothing like the barbershop. I had to take my son there to just get that free talking and be able to say anything. He got to learn a lot about me because one of my homeboys, that's the barber there, I went to college with. So he's up there talking about all the college days, and he's like, "Man, you remember you used to?" I'm like, whoa, but everything is safe in the barbershop. It's a safe and healing space. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the barbershop that I used to, the first real black barbershop I got introduced to as a teenager, I happened to go by there where it used to be, and it's no longer there. It was a little sad to walk down the street and just have a memory of because I hadn't, again, the tragedy of my mulatto-ness. It took a few years for my mother to catch up. It took it was a few years of tragedy in the what do they call it? Hair cuttery.
Wait, she was trying to cut your hair?
Hair cuttery?
She was hair cuttery. She would send me to just
Not
whatever was right. Oh, I mean, I don't know if it qualified as a salon, but it was just the cheap white haircut place.
Salon.
Hair cuttery
they
is
never
like
knew what to do.
They're like the McDonald's of
exactly.
barbershops.
They never knew what to do.
You got a factory haircut.
And I remember I was 15, and shout out to the brother's name is Mark Rogers. I'll never forget him. This brother, he adopted me into his crew and was like, "Hey, look, first things first. If you gonna be hanging around here," and he did. And they took me in there, and I remember, man, and I remember, man, this dude, his name was Barry, and unfortunately, he would later die of. Unfortunately, he would overdose himself, and lose his life. But I remember Brother Barry gave me my first cut, and he sat me down in the chair. It was like, son, you were. He was like, welcome. He was like, it was like one of them things. Like it was, you needed this.
Brother.
You are now a man.
Like.
Now
he was like, "You're never gonna have this." He was like, "I got you. Don't." So for years I would go there, and yeah. But in fact, when I was the last one I went there, I know exactly when I went to get the cut was right before the Big Daddy Kane KRS versus battle.
Damn.
So that's when. So that's how many years ago this was? A couple years ago.
Jackie, do you have that connection with one of your hairdressers at your beauty salon or no?
I hate hair. I hate beauty salons. That's for one of the reasons I got locks was because my hair is really thick and it takes me a long time always took me a long time to do my hair. And I would have to, curl my hair every day and all this kind of stuff. But I also sweat a lot. So that was not fun. And then I had to start going to the beauty salon, and I just don't like the beauty salon.
Y'all be in there for hours too.
And see, the thing is, it's not that, at least for Black women, doing your hair takes that long. It did the actual process of doing your hair, at least back then, it didn't take that, maybe a 2 hour, maybe 2.5, if you're getting something really intricate or braids, a little bit longer. But the wait is the fact that a whole lot of these beauticians would not stick to their appointments.
You're right about that.
So you make an appointment for 2:00 and you show up at 1:30, 12:45 or something like that. You show up early because they're fitting to be late, and you still sitting there for 2 hours waiting for your appointment. And I just and then there's the whole, I got to see what brothers talk about in the barbershops, with Abdus going to get his, and finally I'm like, yeah, this is not the place for me. Let me get the heck out of here. I just let me let the brothers be brothers, because but a lot of, and I don't want to start the gender war conversation, but
too late.
I can't stand sitting around a bunch of women talking about how Black men ain't shit. I can't do it. I cannot do it. And this was long before I met Abdus, long before I fell madly, deeply in love and all this kind of. I just never liked that vibe, and so I'm like, you know what? I saw someone with locks. This was probably 15, 20 years ago, and I really hadn't thought about it much. And I saw this lady she had sister locks. And I met this girl who told me that she did sister locks. So she put, started my locks, and my hair was fried from the perms and all that stuff. So I had to cut it off very short, and she started the locks. And I hated them because they were little tiny and they looked like little worms. And I was like, this was the worst decision I've ever made in my life. And she's like, no. You won't regret it. It'll grow out. It'll look fine. And they did, and they were fantastic. And then I met Abdus, and then, a few years later, on my the weekend before our wedding, I needed to get my hair done. So I go to a sister lock technician, and I had fallen out with my crazy loctician. She had issues. So I'd fallen out with her. And she told me she did sister locks. And so I go to a sister locks technician, which you have to be licensed to do. And the woman looks at my hair and she's like, oh, honey, your hair is beautiful, but those are not sister locks and I cannot do them. And I was like, oh my God. And this was like the weekend before our wedding. So that's how I found the loctician that I go to now, who does these fantastic and lovely bobs and styles and stuff, and who pretty much refuses to cut my locks right now, because he's like, you're just trying to make an emotional decision, ma'am. And I'm not. He literally said that to me last time. I was like, next time I come after, the transplant surgery, I'm probably going to want to cut my locks back to like little longer than shoulder length. And he was like, we're not supporting that, ma'am, because that's an emotional decision, and we don't do emotional decisions with our locks.
Speaking of guys with hairdos, come out, K. Franklin.
Yeah, he still has a little bit of hair. He's still got a little bit of.
Yeah,
he looks like he's trying to get that salt and pepper.
Yeah, he got a Silverado look
thing going on. I don't know if it's working, but he's trying.
He got a wife, so something must be working.
That's true.
He's maintaining one.
That's true. Okay.
I always like women with locks. I like to massage the head and stuff like that. But
stop. It's too early for that.
It's too early great. For that. It's hard for sew-ins. You can't do that. You start running
hard for what?
Tracks. Sew-ins and tracks and all that other stuff.
Okay. I think we went into another conversation that is a little. It's a little bit too early for that conversation.
Oh, okay. What's going on? Oh, look at Jackie. Oh, let me find out. It's getting a little hot in here. Come out.
Secrets of Mr. Lukman.
That's
Oh,
right.
my.
I ain't know about the head massages, boy. What? Y'all
It's
better
like,
learn out
what are
there.
you doing? What do you do? Just sit. Shh.
That's it. That's it. Y'all better learn about that. Put you on. All right. So, Kamal, you doing good? Got the kids kicked out?
Not a happy man, but I'm doing good.
Oh,
Again? What?
we got the fire alarm straight?
No, that's not going to get straight until like another 2 weeks. So I'll take care of that.
Oh.
But I just got a car because my old car broke down finally after 13 or 14 years.
Yo.
And, I'm like kind of, huh?
That thing you were driving us around in down there was
That one. Yeah.
Yo.
It wasn't even a car. It was that
I didn't want to say too much, but I was like, man, I haven't felt like this since like back in the day. I was like,
scared.
what is going on? I didn't want to touch nothing. It was just.
That
it was
my baby. A
Man.
wild war. It got us through a lot.
It sure did.
And I was hoping for it to last until March. Because then I got a check coming in. I got like a check coming in. I was like, bam, March got me a new car.
It's gonna fix that Wi-Fi. Yeah, never mind.
That time frame didn't work. So and it
Gave
wasn't
up
me.
the ghost.
Somebody else drove it. We loaned somebody, and then they said, oh, it broke down on the highway. So
yeah, you set them up. You should have never. You set them up. Yeah, sure. Take this car.
I drove that car the day before, and it was working properly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got a new car. A used new car. Not exactly what I wanted.
New to you.
New to me. But I'm bad at all these things. Like, because I'm like a rush buyer. I'm kind of like, let's just get in. I ain't got time for all that. I did a 7-minute test drive. I looked it over. I was like, I'm fine with this. Let's go. Of course, after I get off the lot, and then I noticed the what is it? The side window, the side whatever. It's got a little crack in it, and I don't know whether or not that's a crack that was already there, or I saw some trucks moving real close, like on Halloween. I was like, did they just hit my car? It's the day I got it. And then today, I'm dropping the kid off, and then like you got the small streets, and then there's the mailbox. And then this car was coming, and I had to do a little swerve. And you know what I hit? I hit the whole.
No.
Yeah, it's still there, but the whole back cap. When now all the wires are exposed, and I don't like that look. And it's a white car, so I'm not happy. Not happy.
I told you we should vote on who should drive and who shouldn't.
No, I'm an excellent driver, son. I'm an excellent driver. I never got any accidents with anything that's moving.
With anything that's moving,
that's even worse.
I was going to say that makes it worse.
So if somebody is standing on the corner at the curb,
so fixed objects are a threat.
Those are my worst. Yeah, those are my worst nightmares.
Oh my God.
If it's moving, I can avoid it. I can dash through it. But somehow the estimating. Like I got enough space for that. I'm one time I got and you hit something, and go like. Then I was like, I guess it'll stop soon. I kept on going, somebody else's car. And then, I just left.
Right, so, my oldest just don't tell anybody,
too late.
She just failed her driver's test.
Why would you tell it? Why would you tell people about that?
Who does that?
I feel like it's a setup, though. I feel like it was a setup. So she gets in the car, like she was using my car. I get out the car, the dude gets in the car, I walk, and before I even sit down to watch they have a bench where you can watch the test, she's getting out. And I was like, what? And the way the course was set up is that they tell you to go on the course and you make an immediate left turn, and then they set it up so that it's to me it's a setup, because they have the lined off curb and then the lane. And if you drive into the curb at all, into that lined off section, you fail automatically.
Wow.
And so on the one hand, I like that they do this because it's meant to make you, it's just an attention to detail thing. It's a Navy boot camp thing. It was such a little slick little thing. but you immediately fail and have to go through the queue again to get the next test. And I like that they do that because I don't think teenagers should be driving at all. So I like that they catch you. I don't think
At all?
No, I don't actually. I think the minimum age should be at least 21. And then at least. I'm not even joking. But so I like that they do that. And then but I, obviously I felt bad. So I told the guy, I said, my man.
Oh no.
First of all, my daughter's there with tears in her eyes. So I'm not just gonna walk away. So on GP, I'm gonna put up some kind of fuss, even if I agreed with it, just on general purpose. So I was like, I turned my back so she couldn't see my face. So I'm in between them. And I'm just like, because I didn't want to, I wasn't going to get too rah-rah, but I was like, my man, really? I mean, that quick? Like, she can't just. And he
then
was
you
like,
secretly mouthed to him.
But I was secretly like, we good. But
what did he say? He's like, nah, she failed.
No, but he had that. Then he had, but I also could see what was going to happen because he had that older white man attitude of, I don't like that this is my job. This is not how my life was intended to go.
I
And
hate
if you say,
damn kids.
and if you say one more thing, I'm gonna say the thing that's gonna set you off. That's how I was trying to play chess in my head. I was trying to see moves ahead, and I saw the attitudes. I was like, okay, I did the minimum. In my heart, I think you're right anyway. But if you say, but I was like, also like, don't do too much with it. I was also kind of like, it was like that. Like we agree already, but there's my daughter right there. It's good. Like you can't, what I mean? So, but I just said, okay, all right. And then, and then we got in the car and I told her, I said, it's a setup. And I was like, I feel, I'm with you. It's a total setup. But then after a while, after she calmed down, I was like, but at the end of the day, I'm glad they do it like this because you shouldn't be driving anyway. I did, not her personally, but I said just none of them. I was like, none of them. I was like, I told her, I waited like a good 30, 40 minutes. And then, once I had her back on joke time and chill time, I did say, because I was like, it is a setup. I think the course is a setup. I mean,
Is she ready to go again, though? Is she ready to go again?
Yeah, she's ready to go again, but you have to go through the queue, so you have to wait a few weeks anyway. You can't just go right you can't like just sign right back up and go back in the building. It's like a whole, but I was like, cool.
I don't know if this is a gender thing, but when my son, he failed it the first time, and I was like, you big dummy. And then he had to take it again, the written part. I mean, you get the crack with your kid like that. He failed the
written part.
He failed the written part. Exactly. The first time. I was like, you big dummy. And I had to go back 2 days later and do it again. He passed, but oh yeah. Easy.
I remember I helped somebody cheat on the written part. I was in there with them and they would ask, I was like, it's blah, blah, blah.
I still think the funniest scene in television history is the yellow light scene from the show Taxi. When we talk about helping them cheat. I still think that's when Jim Ignatowski, he's like, what does the yellow light mean? And they're like, slow down. And he's like, what? And they do it like 3 or 4 times. And by the end, I mean, it is hilarious. I was like, yeah, that. And I was, that was my show, Zenzi, too. I'm with you. I love that show. But,
that was a great show.
Well, welcome.
So that was Kamal in there. Slow down.
Well, we'd like to welcome out all our remixers to the Remix Morning Show as we get ready to get into some news. And, we come here, chop it up. It's Thursday. We're about to get into a weekend. It's cold as hell. It's November. That's what it is. The Remix Morning Show. Let's take a break right here, right now. Let's go. Yeah. What's good, everybody? Welcome out. This is Remix Morning Show. As I said before, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. If you are here, hit that like button. We got 270 people in here live right now. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and go to patreon.com, become a member, and you can see some content over there you won't see here. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get to our artist spotlight, as we like to do. Who am I doing talk about today? Let's take it to the islands of Kingston, Jamaica. Let's talk about them called Patra. Yeah, Patra, also known as Dorothy Smith. She is straight, as I say, from Kingston, Jamaica. Right now, she's 50 years old. Can y'all believe that? 50 years old right now. She started in the 80s. She first was heard on Shabba Ranks' song Family Affair, but then came out in 93 and dropped her debut album, Queen of the Pack. And it hit. First single she came out was Think About It, somewhat off that You Better Think. She redid that and then came out with Work of Mine. Work of Mine was hard. And then later came out with Romantic Call, which was a collaboration with Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo, female MC from the West Coast. Yeah, and then she came out in 95 with Pull Up to the Bumper, which was a remake of Grace Jones. So she did a bunch of things, also a lot of collaborations with different people, even Aaron Hall, to coming back in 1995 on a Panther movie soundtrack on a Freedom song she did with all the sisters. And she did something with CC Music Factory, Take a Toke. And then later after that, she dropped another album. She dropped like 5-6 albums. And then she took a break from the music industry. She got more into her spirituality. And she got a bachelor's degree in history and political science. And then came back with another album that dealt with some more slackness, talk about Bad in the Bed. I was hoping after the history and political science degree, she would start coming with some consciousness, but she said, I'm going to stick to the routine. All right, with that said, she also was known for a little bit of fraud, but she got released on bail, came back out and did her thing. But that is no other than Patra, the girl from the yard. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning crew right here on the Remix Morning Show. Yeah, you know how we do.
She's only 50?
Yeah. Only?
I
thought the same thing. I was shocked.
No,
I was shocked. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, how old was she when she first? Dang.
Yeah.
Because I was sure she was older than me, but nope.
Wow.
A lot of the reggae artists convert to Christianity real hard. Like Lady Saw, her. I even think maybe my girl that did Koof, Shirley Thunder. But yeah. Big up to Patra. She had her reign for a quick second. The 90s brought forth a lot of the collaborations of reggae and hip hop. When you look at Shabba Ranks, you look at Supercat, you look at Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, a bunch of them came through on the hip hop and reggae tip. So big up to that era. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for shouting her out.
You're on mute, Kamal. I guess you didn't know.
I was asking you a question. Who did the reggae Sorry?
Sorry.
Yeah, who's that?
I think it was like Coffee Brown, her name was, or something like that. That was the joint. It's all
You still ain't got that C battery yet, though, huh?
No, no, girl, it's not happening. No, not for me.
That's why he's singing Sorry.
Not
right, catch up
I was gonna say real quick. So the driving, I got my license actually in Mississippi, in Jackson.
Oh, you're a New Yorker, right? Yeah.
Yes, I didn't drive up until like 13 years ago. And so when I went. Their DMV's in a mall setting. So I went to the DMV to the mall, and I think it was the same RAV4 that you drove around in. And then so I got in the car, and the guy said, go to the stop in the mall, like this, like I guess like the circle in the mall thing that you go when you're parking. So, did like 2 stop signs and then came back around. He told me to park here, and I just parked. And I was like, all right, what's next or whatever. And he said, no, that's it. You passed. I was like, what? That's it? I got my license? He's like, yep. I was like, no, I didn't say this out loud. I was like, no K-turn, no nothing turn, just like around the mall with the stop sign. I was like, and I almost blew one stop sign at that. It wasn't even like, I was like, oh, I might miss this one. But yeah. And I've been on the road ever since.
Explains so much about the South, doesn't it?
It does. That's all you need to know right there. You could just walk right back from that to the plantation, and everything it's a perfect logical timeline right there.
On the highway. And somebody said the yellow means speed up, not slow down. It was like in real life, true.
Well, technically, specifically, it doesn't mean that either. Technically, it means clear the intersection. So that does not mean speed up. It doesn't mean slow down either.
If it clear the intersection,
it means whatever is most appropriate and safe to so it doesn't automatically mean blow through the.
It don't mean speed up.
Because that's what clear the intersection means.
There you go.
That's what.
Well, there you go. That's why that's what. That's the guy giving you your traffic and your health advice for your children. The ear doctor. That's where the world, like, look, we don't need no disrespect, but it's all. That's the true sign of the apocalypse. Not global warming, not Palestine, not the Congo. Ear doctors teaching your children health. Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But real quick, I just want to share real quick. I got my book. Shout out to Orasami. Got the hard copy.
Nice.
And I'm on my way tomorrow morning to catch up with him and Daruba.
What's the book about? I keep hearing about this book. I keep seeing.
Yo, I'm not even enough through with it yet. And I'm already using it in my class for my own purposes. So the way I'm distilling it is, and I even just was telling my daughters about it on the way to drop them off this morning. And the way I told them was, I said, the book is about explaining what on so-called the outside, our true relationship is to prisons, what their real function is, and how we are more connected to what's going on in there than we realize. And the tip of the spear by what I understand him to be meaning by that, if I'm reading it correctly, he's saying, starting with incarcerated Black revolutionaries, incarcerated, and working outward. The analysis is that Black revolutionaries and then the incarcerated, and then by extension the rest of us are colonized. And there are many psychological warfare and counterinsurgency tactics being practiced and developed in prisons that are meant to be developed and applied to us on the so-called outside. So it's brilliant. It's brilliantly written and researched. And as I've said, I can't even, like, usually I would try to make myself feel better by saying, well, Ori, he don't have no kids. He don't have no, he don't do nothing. He got all the time in the world, but there's no excuse. Like he does all the work, got all the family, and just still produce this monstrous, brilliant work. And so, and then he put this panel together that unfortunately they won't let us record, but is going to have, Robin Kelly and Ruth Wilson Gilmore and Sarah Haley and, and then Joy James is going to be up there. So hopefully we can run into her as well. So looking forward to it.
Where is that?
It's going to be in Montreal. So I unfortunately am missing Saturday's rally, but you and Sean will be back at 1:00 to talk with us about that. But if I have to be out of town to miss something like that, this is as good a reason as I could think. So, and it was scheduled before, we didn't know about the Palestinian uprising. So if they had let us know, I would have happily rescheduled.
That communique from Hamas did not reach us.
It didn't.
How dare
Do you know? Speak real quick. I saw somebody. I every once in a while I do the stupid stuff of searching my name on Twitter.
Don't do that.
Oh my God, it's a madhouse. But I found one of the. I did find something that I laughed at a little bit. Somebody trying to troll me. Found something that me and Dr. CBS had done like a year or two ago. And even though the date is clearly seen in the picture, they misspell her name, misrepresent what they thought was happening. But the caption was because Russell Rickford was on the panel also. They said something about Jared Ball, and what they were trying to say is Sharice Burden-Stelly and Russell Rickford are all doing the bidding of Hamas, and it's being funded by Cornell University.
Damn.
Oh man.
I don't even
Y'all
know.
even talk about Palestine on that panel?
I don't even think that came up that day. I mean, again, this is like 2021, and it's clearly up there.
Wow.
Like the date was 2021, and I was like, wow, that's deep. So Cornell University is funding a Hamas-driven plan. I was like, that's even your insanity is insane. You know what I'm saying? It's like the illogic on top of illogic, all to find. I was like, that's what I get for searching for my name anyway. I was like, it was
that is
wild.
what you get.
Yeah.
It's not even like a regular troll. I was like, it was the dumbest thing I've ever said.
Well, most of them are. I mean, that's the whole point. That most of them are.
Well,
although there is somebody, I don't know who this dude's name is. I had to follow him on Twitter. Every time we do something on the show, he'll do some meme about it, and it's hilarious. So if you're in the chat, just call yourself out for like, I had to follow him just because his jokes was hilarious for me. So I was like, yeah, okay, you're too funny.
You got to share the handle so we can all
yeah, I am. Yeah, I was just like, yo, this is too funny. So really quickly too, on that note, so tonight I'm going to be with Malika Jabali, who just has a new book coming out. It's Not You, It's Capitalism. So we are going to be at the Library, Georgia Center for the book, 215 Sycamore Street. If you are there, if you are here in Atlanta, please come out and show yourself. She's doing a little book tour. It's a cool primer on what capitalism is. And so at first when I was reading it, because of the graphics and everything, I was like, oh, this is for young people, but it's not really. It's like for all of us. It's like one of those books that you think is going to be written a certain way, but then she throws in certain, hardcore, Marx, Lenin, W.E.B. Du Bois. And so she's sort of spoon feeding you about capitalism and what capitalism does. And so It's Not You, It's Capitalism is the name of the book, and why it's time to break up and how to move on. So we will be there tonight having a conversation about the book. So if anybody's in town, please come out and support.
Nice.
Right on. And if you want a primer to that primer, the interview she did with Kalanji is on the channel too, which was really good. And to your point, I haven't read the book, but it sounded just like what you were saying, that it's you're doing this for kids, and then no, there's something heavy in there, and it's clear she knows what she's talking about. What I thought is most interesting is that she works with Essence. So it's like, I'm always fascinated how people do that.
The balancing, yeah.
So, but good for her with the book. Right on.
So
go ahead.
Slap the map. Quick draw McEar doctor.
I mean,
I know. What I'm saying? But don't we have a special salute and song we want to play before we get started?
Do we?
Jared, from yesterday, don't we have a special song and or anthem that we want to play that was sent to us that we viewed yesterday?
Was this a meeting or something?
A meeting we had yesterday, and then we watched something which we all thought was hilarious. Oh my!
All right, hold up. I totally forgot. Hold up. I'm drawing a blank. Wait. You got to refresh.
Blank now?
I am. Wait. What?
What
I know
video
we did watch something.
What
What was
videos.
it?
One was a troll about me, which we're not showing.
Oh yeah.
The other was someone singing something. Why does somebody in the chat already know?
Yeah, boy. Oh my God, that's right. Hold up. My bad. I totally forgot. I did. I totally forgot. I did.
Oh
I did.
gosh.
I put it out of my. I put it out of my.
How many
that's
hits
really
did
what
he
it was.
need?
I tried.
My bad. This is all my fault. I totally blanked out because this was just bad.
It's jigaboo time. It's jigaboo time.
Oh, say, can you see?
The worst part is he doesn't ham it up. Like he tries to seriously do it.
No, he's doing that.
Even sitting, I feel like I'm too tall. I need to like lie fully on the floor.
I can't.
Thank
I
you.
can't.
Thank
I
you for
can't.
ending our suffering with it. Thank
And
you.
then the dude left and left it on. He leave the
He
room.
left the chair and left it on. No, I didn't mind if you played the whole thing.
Oh my God. I just
I will say the young boy, the teenager in me, the young man that I was is just completely shattered right now. I think only in my old mature state can I somehow rationalize what has happened, because that is a complete downfall. It's a complete collapse. Even when he was, because that was sort of my point, that even when he was playing the clown or the joker or the jester, there was a political context to it. He was still doing 911 as a joke. He was still, which by the way got me arrested. But oddly enough, yeah, that's my Ocean City story.
You got to tell it. B. You can't not.
I think I have already, but I mean, the short story is I was at a party. I had just joined the Navy, and was still actually on probation, and was at a party in Ocean City, Maryland, which is why I know Justice Kavanaugh is lying and was guilty of everything he was accused of.
Because
allegedly.
it's Ocean City, man.
Because it was Ocean City, and I saw what was on. I saw firsthand. I'm guilty of some of that myself, not the sexual stuff, but the overindulgence and the no abuse or anything, but certainly the. Yeah. So, and I was literally in a party that went from one house across the street to another, and there was, open use of cocaine, marijuana, everything was I mean, it was a complete. And then somebody drove by playing 911 as a joke loudly outside, and I was twisted, and I was on the balcony, 911, and I was doing the whole like, ah. And then it seemed like right behind it, and I wonder if it wasn't even a setup, because it felt like immediately behind that came a whole cavalcade of undercover and then overtly police. and they ran, and everybody started breaking out. And I remember seeing cops coming up one side of the steps. So I turned to run the other way, and I ran into I'm 6'2", and I ran into the undercover chest of this big ass white boy with the badge swinging on his. I was like, God damn. And he was like, and the first thing he said was, he smiled, and he said, I'll never forget, he smiled. He looked down, smiling at me, and he said, so 911 is a joke, huh?
Wow.
And with all that was going on, I was the only one that got arrested. I was in the paddy wagon by myself. By myself, handcuffed to the side of the rail. And the brother that did the intake when they drop you off, and they they're like, give me your shoelaces and all that other kind of stuff. He actually looked. He said he looked, and he was like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but the look conveyed, brother, I'm sorry, because it was like a noise violation. He read the thing. He was like, because that's what I got arrested for, a noise violation.
Because you sung from the balcony.
Yeah, because that was it.
Only you. You were the only one making all
the liquor, all of that going on. All of that going on. And I spent 36 hours, the rest of the weekend. I was locked up in there.
Wow.
And he even said, I remember he was like, a noise violation. I was like, and then they called me, and then like a week later we got sent to Desert Shield, which became Desert Storm. Damn. And they called me, and where I had to call the court, and I said, look, we're getting deployed. And they said, due to service to your country, we're gonna, release the charge. Because I honestly thought I was going to get violated, because on that initial probation, they said if you get any other charge, all your other charges will get reinstated, and you'll serve the rest. Oh, my bad. You'll serve the rest of your time, your enlistment in Leavenworth. So I thought this noise violation was about to send me to federal prison, and then
they're like, no, please go kill the Muslims.
Go kill for us.
Well, thankfully we got sent to invade some brown people, so it was all worth it in the end. It was like, otherwise I might have gone to jail, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, thank God this country is constantly going to war, otherwise your boy might not.
But speaking of endless and ceaseless imperialism, I'm with you. Like, just the fact that Flavor Flav, Public Enemy,
son,
agreed to sing that trashy ass song, regardless of how well or badly he did. I mean, I was hoping that he would truly butcher the thing, but the fact that he earnestly tried to do a good job and sing it, like, my childhood is gone. My whole childhood is gone.
It's though, like, part of you goes in your mind, like, when did that shift happen? Or was it obviously was part of it always there? Did anybody notice? And then we have to go back to, again, brought this up, the Flavor, what's the show he did with the women?
Flavor of Love.
Flavor of Love.
And Brigitte Nielsen.
The worst looking, most despicable, whatever. But it's like, this dude will just do anything for a check. And I'm assuming he got a check. I just don't know if he really did. But I'm like, at one point, do you go from Public Enemy to singing the national anthem? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems,
So, but this is actually, I think it's representative of a broader problem that we all struggle with. First of all, if we remember the history, Public Enemy's very first output, and Glad Piper is here. And I'm about to, I think we're about to agree. I was about to say she's here, good, she could check me on this. Their very first output musically had nothing to do with politics. My 98 booming with a trunk of funk, all of that kind. It wasn't some revolutionary, And then what I think happens with a lot of artists and a lot of us non-artists is we get an initial hit of some radicalism, but we don't follow up, we don't study, we don't organize, we don't become part of organizations, and then we get dragged into academia, into journalism, into some other form of work or art. And if we look carefully at the history, with all due respect, even with the interview that Kalanji did the other day, which was great, there is there is, I think, less of a divergence between Chuck and Flav at this point than we might want to acknowledge. I don't think that the difference is as extreme as we would want it to be. And Chuck himself, supposed to be the political representative of the group, has, I think, from our standards, certainly my own political standards, not maintain the course as I would have wanted. So like what I felt like Public Enemy inspired me into, I feel like where I am today is a logical conclusion of that. I feel like where Chuck is, and certainly where Flav is not the logical conclusion to that. So I don't know if that's where Piper was going. I look forward to her next episode, and she maybe will discuss it there, or jump up here, discuss it here. But
yeah, it's hard for me. I don't totally disagree. I mean, but I obviously, even in that interview, it feels like Chuck D is well read.
Mm-hmm.
He knows a lot of the history, and he recites the history of not only just hip hop, but Black struggle. And so my particular belief, and I don't know this for certain, is that, so obviously of all of them, he was the one who was most well read, most politicized, but politicized, like you said, like in a certain way, probably towards sort of nation politics, which is obviously this overlap between radicalism and so forth, but then kind of stopped there. And I remember one time, I'm thinking this is a direct quote or whatever like that, like he wanted not to be put into a category of being a revolutionary, but being like a Bono kind of figure who gets to do revolutionary music, or not revolutionary, but to bring up issues and song, but not to be counted on to be an on the ground whatever. And that,
an entertainment philanthropist, basically.
Yeah. And I actually, because I think when I was younger too, and I was already politicized, and then I had PE in my ear, I kept looking every time I saw a video. I was like, how do I join? Thinking it was like, it was not just the music. But in my age, thinking there's got to be some organization, some militant organization that is connected to this or whatever like that. But it turned out, not to be in that way. It turned out that, it was closer to, he is a musician who has politics, but considers himself clearly an artist more than he does a sort of a radical organizer activist. And I would say, like, in general, hip hop has been, in my opinion, disappointing in terms of keeping anybody who's stayed sort of on track in terms of that way, at least ones that I know about. There's been a few who at times have said they've done such and such and such. But again, it's their cultural workers, and sometimes it's up to people like me to put them in that, put them in a certain category and not have the expectation that they're going to be doing more. Some have, of course. I'm not saying some haven't, but mostly it's like you got to box that in.
I mean, Chuck,
to uplift a cause. I'm sorry.
No. I think, one of the things I thought was interesting in the discussion he had with Kalanji the other day is that he talked about, he said Public Enemy was really Wu-Tang before Wu-Tang, this collage of different entities put together, and they weren't all coming from the same space, and they weren't all doing the same thing. They were not an organization per se. So they Griff had his whole, and I forgot, I didn't even remember that they had a whole different name before the S1Ws and all that. They were a whole different group that was sort of brought in and attached, and then Flav and Chuck and everybody, all of them were just almost very independently coming together to create this amazing group. But what I also heard in that is that, to your point, they're not all on the same page politically. They're not all doing the same things organizationally. And then ultimately they're becoming the cultural workers and artists. And I think with any of us, the farther we are removed from grassroots organization, the farther we're removed from study, the more easily we are drawn away from the path, so to speak. And it can happen in any field. So no question. Oh, wow. Yeah. Nah, it didn't save me, but.
But then I think there's a part of this that is just, it is what it is, because who was even thinking about Flavor Flav until he did this? Nobody. Nobody was thinking about. So this is I think this too. I think maybe we are reading more into it than we should. I think this is just a way for him to stay relevant. Like somebody asked him to do something where he would be in front of the cameras.
That's where I think we're not doing enough. Because to your point, someone asked him to do it.
Yeah,
they're making him be relevant again as psychological warfare. I'm telling you.
Oh, well, okay. Well, I see that. Yeah, I see that part of it. But I mean,
I think if somebody had asked him to sing, lift every voice and sing at a school, he'd do that too. Whatever.
Yeah.
For a check, I see. Right.
He's like, I'm. People are gonna, he's relevant again. So for him,
I don't like that song either. I like the Garvey anthem song better. That should be our national anthem for real. There's the Garvey, and I keep forgetting, but there's the Garveyite anthem is a way better Black national anthem. Lift Every Voice is to me is too soft. It's too. I think that's why we've collectively unconsciously rejected learning it. Beyond the first verse.
I was gonna say beyond the first verse. Everybody knows.
That's what I mean.
It's a hard ass song to sing. Can we just? I don't know what they were on.
Because it's not hard enough. It's not hard enough. And even the remix of it that Cornell West Theory did recently, Tim Hicks and them, shout out to them. Their version. It'll come. I'll get it after the break because I know Ear Doctor's coming up. But their version would make it a better anthem than the one that it is now. I just want something that's got a little boom bap and some swing in it. But speaking of which, I was trying to get there, Ear Doctor. Quick draw, McEar Doctor.
I can't help it, man. When you talk about this song, I had to sing it at Morris Brown College before our class. In our science class, we had to sing the first verse of the Black National Anthem every class.
Before science class in college?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Morris Brown, baby. That's Morris Brown.
I don't think I'm opposed to that.
Yeah. And speaking of flavor, Professor Griff, last year for my birthday, y'all remember this happening? That's right. We went to the shooting range. Me and Griff.
Where's your target at, though?
You ain't seen all them right there? Come on,
that's
son.
Yours?
Yeah. Center mass,
let
baby.
you hold his target.
Whoa, the disrespect going on here.
I don't know if I believe that. I feel like this is a Photoshop.
He found that on the floor.
Wow.
I feel like he found on the floor.
Yeah, I'm not
he
buying
said,
you that.
No, he
Them
said,
call me
Griff,
top
let me hold
shotter.
that real quick.
What?
He said, Griff, let me hold your chart real quick.
Nah, top shotter over here, right? Top shotter.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. The disrespect, boy, I tell you. All right, let's go ahead and take our next break as we come back here and give you some more news, or will we get to some more news right here on the Remix Morning Show? Yeah. Be forgetting it's a news show sometimes. It's talk radio over here. Anyway, that's what we do, man. We mix it up right here on the Remix Morning Show. You never know what you're going to get, but you're going to get it. All right? With that said, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com and become a member over there and get some content that is not over here. All right. So, in case you've been hiding under a rock and you've been wondering, yo, what's been going on Black Power Media? Well, let me put you on. Let me take you back to a show with who you seen in the chat already. She goes by the name of Piper on Beyond Breaking Barriers. She was talking about women rapping in revolution. Let's see what she was talking about with Piper Carter.
Anyway, that's what I did this weekend. Oh my God, I gotta tell you all a story. I'm like, so I don't know if y'all know or not. I also DJ. I'm not Grandmaster Flash or anything like that, but people have told me that I'm a great selector. So I'm gonna believe them because when it comes to DJing, people don't lie. Well, maybe they do, but in my experience, wait, let me read this comment first. Who is this? What's up, Joshua? Have you ever read Farming While Black by Leah Penniman? So yeah, we're not like friends, we're comrades.
First of all, did you know that Piper was a DJ too? Man, she does it all. Y'all got to go check that episode out as she explains her DJing and what she's been doing and answers the questions in the chat room. Very dope show, so y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Another show that y'all might have missed, in case y'all was under a rock, is y'all check out Coco on Confronting Contradictions. Let's see what she was talking about.
I've been thinking a lot about what's happening in Palestine. And the truth of the matter of, you know, how power, I guess you could say, how power gets to determine what is violent and what are acts of violence. And I know sometimes in the chat, I will say that self-defense is not violence. And I mean, truthfully speaking, yes, okay, there are acts of violence that we can, I guess the true definition of violence, we could say that there are the specific things that could be constituted as acts of violence. But for me,
speaking of acts of violence, so make sure y'all go and check that out. And let's see what acts of violence our co-hosts know about right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's get it right here. Let's go. Yeah.
Can't cop to any acts of violence on the show. We don't. That's a setup. You don't. What's the matter with you?
What happened?
We don't admit to any. No.
Okay.
Man, after I had to lug out a bunch of drain water soaked, pipe water soaked carpet from the basement the other day. I'm not trying to get into. I'm not ready for no violent nowhere. I'm all broken up. I listen. And by the way, so you know, yeah, I'm a mess. So ain't nobody. I'm not ready to talk about no violence nowhere. I did violence to myself just trying to clean up the basement. I was like, it was very humbling. Like, you ain't ready for nothing. You better stop talking trash on the internets.
Kamal's on mute. I'll just put that.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Don't be worrying about whether I'm on mute or not. Overproducing.
Oh my gosh, y'all.
I can't have a moment of letting my colleagues chat it up. Are you staying for the whole show?
That's right. You was trying to block out that fire alarm in the background. My bad.
That's what exactly. I was trying to help out.
I forgot. My bad.
It's easy to do that than to change the battery.
But seriously though, how are you and the family not losing your mind? Like that to me.
We do. Yeah, exactly. We're not you.
They're lazy.
Motherfucker.
The beat is not about lazy. It's the beat is crazy.
Sure? The fact that he can't get up there and fix the goddamn change the battery or take it out.
I'm busy.
He's busy. I hear you. It just drives me insane. I'm like,
I just ignore it. Yeah, I can ignore it. I'm good at ignoring things. I mean, that's how I got to ignore 95% of the bullshit in my life. That's what I do. I'm not even saying it's always the best method, obviously, because it bothers everybody else around. But half the time, it's just like, you know, it's like the whole, you know what I mean? Like,
so always instigate.
I know.
Kamal don't need noise canceling headphones. He's got noise canceling ears. There's noise canceling life. He's just like, I built in noise cancellation. I'm like, what? I hear that nonsense. I ain't hear that.
All right.
But can I respond just quickly and share with you? I want to clarify my point. The track is called "Lift Every Voice and Scream," and this is what I think should be the updated version of our anthem. Shout out to Tim Hicks and the Cornell West Theory. Just if I could just let the first verses go a little bit, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't know about Cornell West Theory, DC's finest boom bap, you know.
Corona 19, the number, another summer. I seen a brother gunned down by the undercovers. I paint the picture vivid, people pay attention, listen, keep the peace and pray for peace and grab the peace and get 'em. Mind over matter, black lives do. Shout it on the megaphone, loud on the Bluetooth. High up as the listening skies, eyes wide saying, don't just stay woke, folk, let's stay alive singing. Don't just say fuck Trump, get in line. Tear that fucking statue down. People, it's time. Singing songs full of hope. Not a song full of niggas killing niggas selling coke. Cause our neck is on the rope. But your check is on the line. So you rap about dope. Money, sex, crime, murder, gun, powder, power goes in the shell toes. We on that underground railroad. My ancestors ain't need no cell phones.
Come on. And the way they remix.
The words of Randy Jackson, I'm gonna have to say no, dog.
Crazy.
I do like
You
that.
are
That was hot.
crazy.
I like it.
I like
that.
it. It's nice, but it ain't no black.
No, I mean it ain't an anthem.
Nah.
Or
I mean, it's not something
you
we can
crazy?
sing along to, but it's yeah.
You
That's
really
not
have
an
a hip-hop.
anthem.
You can't have a hip hop anthem
You can't
for the
have
nation.
It. Yeah, nah.
You got to deal more with the spirituality thing. I'm just
Exactly.
saying, you got to do a little bit to lift every
You don't
voice.
get the
out, yeah.
spirit? Oh my
I do.
God.
I
That
do,
was
but I'm
the
just saying.
background singing. That was the lady in the background
It
singing.
was, what's her name? It's the legendary gospel singer when she did it, and then they I forgot her name. I'm slipping, but the way they remix it, it makes it more powerful.
No, it's a hell of a song, but I might be with the ear doctor on this one.
Yeah.
It can't be the anthem.
Nah.
I want my anthem to say "Get 'em, get 'em."
If she
Get 'em,
sang
get 'em.
some hard lyrics like that, yeah, but I just more of not hip hop. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Even this is coming from the hip hop head over here, and nah.
Shameful.
I know.
Shameful.
Little
I
spirit-
disagree.
Spirituality.
All right, let me get out of here. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
sweet.
All right. Anybody got something serious they want to get to news-wise? Sister Erica
Yes.
did lace us, but yes.
Yeah, so let me start real quick. This weekend is obviously going to be extremely, extremely busy for all the reasons. First is the 15th annual Black is Back Coalition's Black People's March on the White House happening on Saturday, this coming Saturday, November 4th. Starts at 11 a.m. At Malcolm X Park here in Washington, D.C. The rally starts at 11. The march begins at 2 o'clock, and it will end at Lafayette Park in front of the White House on Pennsylvania Avenue. But obviously, some people are going to go to what we're going to be talking about with the comrade Sean Blackman later on. But this is what we, Black Alliance for Peace, are starting off our Saturday with. The African People's Socialist Party sponsored Black is Back Coalition. And Black is Back Coalition is a coalition of African radical revolutionary organizations that have sponsored this march, Black People's March on the White House, every year for 15 years. So we're going to start off the day Saturday with this event. And Sunday, if you're not doing anything else after you're recovering and recuperating, then let's see, where is the window? Please join us here in the Mid-Atlantic region for online. This is an online event, our month of action against AFRICOM wrap-up teach-in about AFRICOM, where we will talk about connecting the struggle against AFRICOM with the struggle for self-determination for people around the world. And we've got a couple of special guests to guide us in that conversation. So this is online Sunday, November 5th from 4 to 6 p.m. So hope you all be able to join us for that. And I'll drop the link in the chat for you to do that. Busy, busy weekend. And then after that, I'll be comatose for a day or two.
Understandably. Right on. Yeah, so definitely hope folks support all of that. Come out, you're muted again. I don't know if you're
I was
doing that
like,
on
add
purpose.
on real quick.
Yeah.
Something that I know that we've talked about it a little bit, but we probably haven't talked about it enough. Has been the fact that again, Yeshiteli, Amali Yeshiteli is right now fighting charges and an indictment that is still ongoing, that he was operating as a Russian agent. So this whole article won't allow me to pop up, but a federal indictment until Tuesday accused. This is in April or whatever. That basically the St. Petersburg-based Uhuru movement are working on behalf of the Russian government in a campaign to sow discord, spread pro-Russian propaganda, and influence local elections. And again, the farcity of the fact that he would be charged with influencing a city council race in St. Petersburg, Florida, as a Russian agent, on its face shows the ridiculousness of the federal government and the civil rights. The federal prosecutor's office it's just totally ridiculous on its face. But he is facing serious jail time if there is a conviction, and I think that case has not been lifted enough in radical circles, in left circles, even in Black organizing circles. And to be honest, some of it has to do with, like, even though Yeshiteli is a huge figure in the Black radical movement over the last 50 years, there are some differences in terms that folks don't readily always work directly with Uhuru. But I think even in spite of some of that, the differences that some people may have, it is extremely, extremely important that when we take our politics seriously and talk about, we got to put all that stuff to the side, because once they come after him, they're going to come after other people. This is hugely important in terms of showing and talking about why he's being chosen, why they're being chosen. The way that they're going after them, and the way they're using, again, federal law enforcement to go after militant organizers and organizations. So this is just as important as all the indictments that are happening around the Stop Kids Cop City. And I'll talk about that in a few seconds. This is extremely important for us to make sure that we rally around and that we show support for.
Now, that's a good point. I'm glad you made that point, because it is true. Uhuru and like any of us or any group has its detractors and people who have their whispers and this and that, but that is largely irrelevant when it comes to stuff like, or should be largely irrelevant when it comes to stuff like this. So thanks for making that point. Yeah. And just quickly, I mean, when it first came out, I did read that indictment in full, and it's. I will admit, when you read it, it is hard to take it seriously on its face. It is so absurd that they would argue that this group is going to use a local election in St. Petersburg, Florida, as the beachhead to launch this Russian-led anti-U.S. campaign. I mean, but then you. And then after laughing or gathering yourself, or myself, I'll speak for myself, I stopped for a second. I'm like, well, wait a minute. They come, like you said, with real charges with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like this joke, they're not playing. Like they really want to bury people in prison forever over this complete absurdity. So, so I'm glad.
No, you're 1,000% correct. And the fact that, and again, like I agree, like you're reading, you're like, oh, this can't be taken seriously, but it's reported seriously. Like, and so the media, when the media reports it, whether it's CNN or New York Times or whatever, they present these charges as this is an important matter, that the Russians are influencing local American elections. It's like, get the fuck out of here. But that may be our perspective. My perspective is like that on its face, you got to see that's a joke. But when they get them old white middle class people in and they start talking about that Black revolutionary and they start talking about Russia, they are leading up towards trying to get some convictions. And again, he is an example to when they go after one, is an example to what they can do to the next group of white people. So that's always important to keep in mind. And then really quickly, since I got it up, this Monday, they're here in Atlanta, the RICO charges against 61 people who've been charged and racketeering for supporting the movement or being a part of the movement, but mostly actually for just supporting, for showing up. These are people, a lot of these folks who are indicted came on one day to a music concert, to be clear. as they were walking through the music concert, they were stopped by police. The police checked the IDs. For those who were not in Georgia, those folks got arrested. For those who had IDs that were local to Georgia or Georgia-based IDs, they were let go. This 61-person indictment, which we've talked about before, in which they cite the beginning of the criminal conspiracy as the day George Floyd was killed. The arraignment, which means the first court appearance by the defendants, is happening this Monday. If you're in Atlanta or can make it to Atlanta because you're close by, we got to come out and support, because again, this is a way of squashing movements and organizing and putting fear into people and criminalizing the larger movement. 61 people are facing racketeering charges, literally most of them for just walking through the forest at the wrong time in terms of being stopped by the cops, as it's sort of like in some weird way, the way Jared was relaying the story. They want you, or they happen upon you, or everybody else around you. Then they get these few people, and then they make it very specific to target people who are not in Georgia, who don't live in Georgia, to fit into their propaganda machine around who is inciting the Stop Cop City movement. And so we want people to come out. It's at 72 Upper Alabama Street. This is downtown Georgia. We're starting it off at 8:50 a.m. And we're marching to 185 Central Avenue, which is the DA's office. We're starting early because the indictment hearings begin early, 8:30, 9 o'clock. So again, we need folks to come out and show support. These folks are here today. These type of indictments, again, can spread around the country as a way to stop movements from organizing against things like Cop City and police violence in our communities.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Kamal. And I saw the comment in the chat about that they said that ADOS was Russian and all, like, no, and you supported that. No, we didn't oppose ADOS because we agreed that they were so-called Russian agents. We were clear on why we disagreed with the ADOS ideology. And it had nothing to do with them allegedly being Russian bots, or influenced by Russia. But it's interesting that the indictments against the Uhuru movement continue as them being these agents of Russia, when the Prime Minister of Israel tweeted, "It was also not for nothing that the American administration has taken this step together with us. In recent years, we have promoted laws in most U.S. states which determine that strong action is to be taken against whoever tries to boycott Israel." So here you have the Prime Minister of the illegal fascist state of Israel admitting that they influence the U.S. government in anti-BDS, anti-boycott Israel laws, and who's getting indicted and for that, for going along with that. But you have this Black radical organization under indictment, and all of these folks who are in community with support of Black radical folks in Atlanta opposing this militaristic Cop City, domestic imperialist Cop City garbage, under indictment for opposing that. I mean, how do you not see the connections to this global struggle against U.S. Western white settler colonialism that we are all engaged in, from Atlanta to Haiti to Palestine? How do you not make the connections right now?
So just quickly, Jackie, forgive me, because between what you said and what I've seen in the chat, I just want to say very quickly that to add on to what you said, when it comes to the reverse hashtag group, we've been very clear. Certainly, I know I've been very clear about what the concerns have been. if anybody wants, they can go to my website and you can find all the backs and forth and all of the written and audio. I mean, I've been very clear on this, that the issue was not that they were Russian agents. If anything, I was saying that and demonstrating their connection to white supremacist, conservative, right-wing politics here in the United States. And that even when that, so I was working off of memory, so I have to be a little careful here, but essentially when the reverse hashtag group felt like they got a victory, when Harvard, I believe, had to retract some of their reported conclusions, making these allegations, or something along these lines. I had actually been interviewed by one of the participants in that Harvard study at one point, and I'm almost positive I shared this here. I told this person very clearly that any line of argumentation you're making along this whole Russian thing and all this other stuff is beside the point, is certainly not my concern. So even when criticizing them, I've been honest and clear about what that criticism is and what it is not. So I don't know to what extent my contribution ended up in that reporting or that research, but the bottom line is I told the guy the direction you all are going in, at least in that part of it, is mistaken. And you should focus on the fact of their actual politics. They are a conservative rebranding of everything from reparations to civil rights to black liberation. They've rebranded Dr. King. They've abused the language of all kinds of people's language to reappropriate it for a very conservative approach to black struggle here in the United States. And it was, and I'll stop here, but it was just an honest attempt to principally disagree with them that led to the response. And by the way, I'll say this one more thing. This is a major issue in the world right now. Yes, I know I tell some jokes and I deserve whatever, but in general, when there is principled criticism, the response is either like brash hostility or to ignore you. There's almost never any principled engagement with that, what the actual criticism is, which is, I think,
it's anti-intellectual. It is anti-intellectualism.
And it's anti-revolutionary too.
It's not principled. It's a strain of this rampant anti-acceptance of anti-intellectualism in this. Americans of all walks of life and of all stripes like to be dumb. We just like to be dumb, and we like things dumbed down, and we like the most simplistic, easy analysis, and it's not even analysis or response or characterization of something. So we don't have to intellectually deal with our misunderstanding or our lack of knowledge of something. We just want it demonized so we can easily throw it away, so we don't have to think. That's what it is. So we just don't have to think about how wrongly we are thinking about things and how much we actually don't know. So yeah.
And it's always easier for folks to jump up and either shout obscenities and go F you, as opposed to having a real argument about either something they're being challenged on. Like, and people, like you said, like people aren't prepared for it. And we live in this type of society that does that almost rewards kind of like behavior that is outlandish, or that is like, done to gain attention. That attention that people are striving for, trying to get, is something that moves them to continue doing it. Because it's like, again, and I've recently been a very big, I don't know, like I'm sort of not rethinking, but like, just saying, hey, these are the good things about social media, which is really about, like, in this time period where you get so much mass information from corporate media that is so skewed, and there's no way to fight against it. But you can, with social media, you can actually have some counters that is reaching literally thousands, if not millions of people. And so I'm glad about the ability to sort of cut out the middle person who gets to offer their perspective around some real perspectives about what's going on. But on the short end of social media, what we get instead is, let's rant and get some views, and let's never discuss the issues at hand in the first place or whatever. So,
by the way, did Elon Musk agrees with you, because he said he saved. Did you see? I saw a clip of him talking to Joe Rogan recently, where he told Joe Rogan that he bought Twitter to save humanity and civilization. I almost think they both believe what they're saying. I'm almost convinced that they believe that he was saying that, and he didn't want, he didn't want to say it directly, but he was saying that there was this dangerous way of thinking that was leading us. Well, he actually did call out the environmentalists who are extinctionists, he called them. And he claimed that he referenced somebody apparently in the New York Times who said basically that humans humans should go before any other living thing in terms of our impact on the earth or something like that. So Musk was saying that's the logic of these extinctionists. Like they've taken environmentalism too far, and they now want to get rid of humans, and he said, of course, and I will never. And it was that kind of thinking he was saying was taking over Twitter. So that's why he bought it, and that he saved civilization.
To save humanity from the extinctionalists.
And I know Joe was up there smoking and shrooming and drinking. Exactly. But I can't, and of course the other one is,
don't read, beloved.
But I mean, I was just looking at that like again, I can only see these in clips because I can't take it uncut. I need that I need that baking soda version of it. Otherwise, I can't take that raw. But yeah, so I only saw that little clip, but it just seemed like, and the way Joe responded is, I think they really think that they believe that they're saving civilization almost as much as Ear Doctor thinks he knows what an anthem should be.
Oh my God. Did those shots need to be fired? I don't think that shot needed to be fired though.
I was looking for a segue and I got stuck in the shot fired lane. I'm sorry. I couldn't think I got stuck.
Oh my gosh.
You mad because don't nobody agree that a hip hop song should be an anthem.
I am mad at that. You damn right. At the 50th anniversary of hip hop, we can't have an anthem?
Nah, and November is Hip Hop History Month, as Mr.
Is it still? Wait a minute.
Really?
More, look at come out like more hip hop.
More hip hop month. I could have sworn in the summer it was like the 50th anniversary of hip hop month.
It was the whole summer of hip hop.
But then there's still the month.
It's still the month.
And can we just let Indigenous History Month can we just
Nope.
I mean,
no. This is what comes with genocide, Jackie. You can't even have your own month of commemoration. That's what comes with the territory.
I know, yeah. Or now when people shout out what area of the I know people mean well when they do this shit. I'm sorry, but
I know exactly what you're about to say.
Yeah, this thing where like if you live in Georgia or you live wherever, you got to shout out what indigenous nation was there previous to you, and somehow that's that acknowledgement. I don't know what it means for them, but it's like that acknowledgement. And I think this started in Australia, and now it's carrying over here in activist circles. And I'm always opposed to new things in activist circles which seem performative. So I'm just like, what the fuck, B?
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm just like, have you said something about this Palestinians who are indigenous? At least were there longer than are you saying stuff about that? Can we get on that road? Can we start doing some organizing and not some acknowledgement shit? But yeah.
And
I also think I wouldn't want that. I would be pissed. Like, don't just be up here saying my name and my like while I'm over here with nothing.
I'm extinct.
I'm extinct.
Right. And I think that's the part that it's like, okay, it's great to acknowledge that this land belonged to this people, but you're gonna talk about why those people don't exist anymore. You're gonna talk about what happened to those people. Are we having a conversation about what happened to the Mash P people? What happened to the Powhatan people? What happened to the what just don't make the acknowledgement. Let's talk about why we're making the acknowledgement and
do the work for land back. What are you doing for the land back?
No,
Oh,
they
what are you
just want to
doing
say
to
that on the way to
make sure-
Starbucks.
Yeah, what are you going to do to make sure other indigenous people don't get their land taken?
And I swear, if any of you are still drinking Starbucks or going to McDonald's or Burger King and any of these places that give money to fucking Israel, I'm coming to your house.
Well, where can I get some coffee though?
You can go and make your own coffee.
Exactly.
Come on.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You the one who spent all that money at Starbucks.
Hey, Jay.
No, actually, I don't.
I'm with you.
I
I'm
mean,
not Starbucks.
but-
I'm not Starbucks, but Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh my gosh.
That hurt a little bit because the Dunkin' Donuts tater tots, I gotta tell you.
They do
first of all, this is part of the colonial problem. Seriously,
It
we're
is.
out
Y'all
around
eat out
where I
all the
live.
time and nuke all your food.
No. It's not just that. Grow your own food. I'm not growing coffee.
I said you
Ear
nuke
doctor.
your own food.
I'm not, okay, but I'm not.
As I've mentioned many times,
Yes.
when you served me that breakfast, I was like,
But because Starbucks has taken over the landscape and Dunkin' has taken over the landscape, there's around here, there's like one spot to get a decent cup of coffee if you're outside of your house. Otherwise, it's gas station coffee. Is you know,
And I
so
grew up
it's
on
rough.
bodega coffee.
But
so
I'm with you.
Dunkin'
I'm
Donuts is
boycotting.
It's just no more. Just
Dunkin'
and
Donuts
for
is
me,
cool.
for people who garden, I did not know that Israel has almost cornered the market on like some gardening tools, and so it's like, yo, this summer it's gonna be kind of difficult. This spring, I might have to be building my own greenhouse. But if that's what
I was about to say, it's buzzing holes. It's holes.
Wait a minute, Dunkin' gets Israel coffee too?
No, I don't know. No.
Don't say. He said, "Don't say that." He said, "Don't investigate that one."
Supports Cop City, I was told.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah. Every time I drive by.
Okay, so we can go to Dunkin's.
I said they support Cop City.
No.
City.
Okay,
No
all right.
Dunkin's.
Wait.
No Dunkin's.
But I do go to Dunkin'.
Oh
Sir.
wait, I thought you were saying they support the struggle against Cop City. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, my bad. So we can't go to Dunkin' either. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's my exception because I do a lot of work against Cop City.
Sir.
Oh damn!
I go to Kroger.
I never thought
and
I'd
buy
say
my
this,
coffee.
but ear doctor save us.
Hey, no problem. That's what I'm here for. Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. As you'll hear about coffee, you hear about the places to get coffee, and you hear about donuts and a lot more.
Starbucks in my cup.
All right. With that said, let's take a break right here on the Remix Morning Show. What's good, everybody? Welcome out to the Remix Morning Show. This is the Remix Morning Show on Black Power Media. Hit that like button and subscribers. Become new subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Also go to patreon.com and become a member. And get some of that BPM gear. Get you a cup. You need a coffee cup, a tea cup, or something like that. It's getting cold out. You need to get some ginger in there in your system. You need to do a flush. It's time for a whole nother season. So you got to flush and get your body right and build up your immune system. I am a health educator. I just thought I'd let you know. All right, who are we going to talk about right here, right now? Let's talk about what you heard in the background. My man, Bobby McFerrin. Yes. Also known as Robert Keith McFerrin Jr. That's right. He is a junior. He is a jazz singer and songwriter, but he's known for his vocal percussion, being able to sing and then make melodies at the same time while he's singing, and actually do what was considered a thing back in the day called ham bone, when you will play music off your body. All right, let me talk about a little bit more. He came out with this song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. It was in 1988. It was Song of the Year, and actually won a Grammy at the 1989 Grammy Awards. So he's been doing it for a while. He came up out of Manhattan, New York. His parents were singers. His mom was a baritone singer, and his father, was a baritone singer in the opera, Robert McFerrin. And his mother, Sarah Cooper, she was also a singer that taught voice at Fullerton College in Southern California. He also came out and was doing some stuff with Herbie Hancock at first. But before he even really got his first record deal, he was developing his sound for 6 years. I'm talking about just working on getting your sound right before you even get into the studio to get in there and start doing the album. That's what you call dedication. I wish a whole lot of other artists would work on their craft like that. But he did that. He worked with Herbie Hancock with his band, and he got to do the season 4 theme song for the Cosby Show, in case y'all don't remember that. Now, the big thing about this song, Don't Worry, Be Happy, was George W. Bush wound up using it for his election song without Bobby's permission. So Bobby wasn't happy about that. He actually publicly protested that song because Bush was using it, and he dropped it from his performance. He was like, man, you're not going to be using me. So he did some more touring, did some more songs, did some more albums. He wound up doing stuff for the Pink Panther theme on that movie right there. He also worked with the St. Paul Chamber Orchestra, where he was appointed a chair. So he got to work with orchestras going around the country. And he works with education programs and does volunteer appearances as a music teacher at different public schools throughout the U.S. and all that. So big up to Bobby McFerrin. He's still out here doing his thing. He got like 14 albums. So if you want to hear some Bobby McFerrin, please go ahead and check out Bobby McFerrin. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get back to the Remix Morning Crew. You know how we do.
Don't Worry, Be Happy was the #1 jam. Damn, if I say it, you could slap me right here.
Yeah, thank you. I hate that song.
I hate it, but I will sing the national anthem apparently.
That song.
But he did say he did come out and say, I think in response even to Chuck's verse, that song was meant to be taken as that was ironic, actually. The song was ironic. That's what he said. It was not meant to be taken literally. It was meant to be a play on what people were feeling like in the 80s, where everybody was just having fun and doing coke and all that other stuff. And he was like, that's why I thought it was funny that if the late Robin Williams was in the video, because he represented the party cokehead vibe of the 80s, you know.
See how artists can do art and put it out there and people interpret it their own way and just.
Well, if I was an artist, I would be I would be mad as fuck.
He was.
If I'm such a talent, because he's a talented dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the song that people know me for is probably one of my laziest works ever that I threw together.
Right.
In 10 seconds.
Right.
A song like "Don't Worry, Be Happy" is kind of like, you know, his throwaway tune. Like after doing 40 hours of some mixed shit with some jazz beats and everything else. And he's like, oh, let me just throw this on the album. And then the producers or the record company is like, oh, we can sell that. You know, and then that's, you know, he made millions of dollars. But if I have to sing that shit every night as my closing song, and everybody's singing along, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Shoot me down. No.
Yeah.
No.
Whenever I've read about big time artists, a lot of them have very, you know, disturbed relationships with their big hits. And you know, like Jimi Hendrix, they used to say, would just run through Purple Haze. You know, he was like, enough already. And even Prince complained about Purple Rain. And would come up with millions of different ways to perform it because he was a genius, an incomparable genius. But still, I could, you know, but at least they weren't like throwaway, you know, end of the night fucking around in the studio bullshit songs.
Which I have no idea if that's actually true. It just feels like
It
feels like you didn't put a lot of work into that.
Bobby, we need one more track. Oh yeah.
Happy. Yeah.
Word. That's what you need for me to get out this contract. Here you go. Boo, 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 blue, 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 blue.
Yo,
I'm free, motherfucker.
It's like, what? What do you mean it's blowing up? What?
Now, the flip side, though, if you read the liner notes for the Band of Gypsies, that's what Jimmy was doing to get out of his Capitol contract. They were like, you owe us albums. So he's like, word, let me get the brothers together. We'll do a couple live shows and record it and put it on.
There you go.
Here. And we got some genius, though. So it was like, all right. But
But I've heard that too. Artists do not like repeating their song, going on like a lot of artists don't like concerts or whatever, like when they have to go on the road because they have to play the same. Which you would think about. You got to sing the same song over and over. Even that's how you make your money. Is just like that can get on your nerves.
Especially if you're a one-hit wonder. I mean, you imagine how many times EU had to doing the butt. They was like, we got so many other songs.
No,
exactly.
We got so many other
What is
songs.
going on with the shots fired today that are absolutely unnecessary?
There was no shots. There's no shots.
He's right on
that. No. You're not gonna drown me out with no nose. No. Listen. I would get tired of doing the butt. I'd be like, I got a whole bunch of catalog of other songs I could be doing, but here we go, doing the butt.
Everybody's waiting on it. Everybody's waiting on it.
Yeah,
they're not,
everybody's
though.
waiting.
They're not. So this is what you
people in DC. I'm not listening to y'all DC people.
But
I'm talking about people outside of DC.
Yeah. When he has to go make his real money.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't make that's not where they make their see, this is the beauty of it. That's not what they do. They're not traveling and touring. Go-go bands are not touring to make money. That's not their living. They go and do shows overseas, but they're not, because they do it for the people. It's community. And when you go to the show, if they do the butt at all, it's in a little funky new style, and otherwise they do all this other kind of great stuff. So stop it.
You're making shit. You what's the name of that group again? EU.
Experience Unlimited.
Again. Oh, that's it. I can't. It was just that
featuring Sugar Bear and Juju on the drums and Mighty Mo on percussion. J-U.
Oh, you trying to say they didn't try to make no money though?
With all them Negroes in the band, you can't make no money.
They gotta eat. They gotta eat.
They got split the cake up at the end of the night. Please, $5 for you, $2 for you. Come on.
They doing the butt like 12 times a night. What are you talking about?
Bring it back.
The 8 o'clock show, the 10 o'clock show, the midnight show.
Anyway, just to cut
Jackie.
through this slander, just to cut through this go-go slander right now. Jesus. If y'all want some really good coffee and you can get it delivered to your home, get yourself a cheap coffee grinder and order Sweetie's Coffee. Ricky Ryan put me onto them a couple years ago. And a black-owned coffee business.
There you go.
I think they're in Baltimore. They have lots and lots of fall flavors. Caramel apple, butter pecan.
Damn.
Delicious. This is delicious.
Good. Okay.
I need that espresso right there. I need that Italian roast.
They have these little,
I'm about to order that joint right
cake cup things that I hate. You can get a nice little coffee mug. I don't like the K-cup things.
By the way, you can get it ground. I'm ordering now. You can actually get it ground if you want. If you don't have a nice little grinder, as Jackie suggested.
The maple bourbon is also fire. You can also add actual bourbon to it and make it even more comforting and delicious.
Could somebody at this company so that they can send us some free coffee like we giving a free promotion?
We got to get some more subscribers.
We are still.
No, that was Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest, yeah.
No,
but I think
we didn't come up. We didn't come up enough for her.
We can at least come up with some coffee. God damn.
Yeah, I think Sweeties, they gotta feel proud that we, what I'm saying.
Yeah, we just did a whole commercial for them.
Yeah, and I ordered their stuff. I actually put in an order 2 days ago because I was like, oh, I need my butter pecan.
I'm putting one in right now.
I didn't know nothing about grinding coffee until I married an Ethiopian. I thought I was like, what? You had to do that?
Because they know how to real coffee.
And yeah. I know all about it. It's like, what? It's not already halfway instant. I just need it. Made it. That's why I got to go to the Starbucks. It's like I got time for that. I can't change the light bulb. I can't change
what state of affairs did it find you in?
It was low.
I
remember I was still up in the projects. I was 30. I was in my late 30s, still up in the projects. So I was lawyering from the project, so it wasn't good.
Even Coco says she grinds her coffee. Goodness.
Why got to be even Coco? Because she's from the Bronx. You don't think the Bronx got grinding?
I got Aptus on to grind his coffee.
Because she comes across like I'm too busy swinging on somebody to stop to grind my coffee. I'm snatching somebody else's already poured cup on my way to smack somebody else to confront their contradictions. Motherfucker, that's what I think of when I think of Coco. I was like, she got time to grind coffee. God, yeah, okay.
It's the more mature. We all know the more mature Coco. We don't know her from her probably early days when that was going on, when she was cutting niggas. You know what I'm saying?
She was just waiting for somebody to get their cup. Just give me that cup. I'm drinking that cup. Thank you for getting my coffee. Next time, put some cream and sugar in it.
All right, let me go get ready for my mix. Peace.
Oh, you gonna be here?
Get ready.
So
Ear Doctor, what he explained, I don't know if he's coming back, but he explained, yeah.
What?
You explained your schedule. You clarified your work schedule.
Yeah.
What is your schedule, son?
I don't know completely, but I'll definitely be able to start the show off and do all the other production needs and have some breaks ready for y'all. All right. So
I thought you said you didn't have to go in. You didn't have to go in until 11.
Not today. Today
you're here until 10.
Yeah, I'll be here till 10.
But that can vary week to week depending on what classes you got.
Exactly.
All right.
But I'll always be here to start the show off. How about that?
Okay.
I think we need to contact this school. To make sure they know who they hired. If they are clear, not to get him fired, but can we adjust the schedule so that he can show up after the morning show? Like, let's get some priorities.
Come on.
Y'all forgetting who's the most healthy conscious person around here. I'll be putting y'all on. So health educator is a no-brainer for me to be doing. Come on.
The most what?
Anyway.
I need to stop, yeah.
Remember, before we get another strike, don't let me get too deep.
Don't get too deep. True. No vaccine talk here.
You know what I'm saying? No medical degrees or experience required. You know what I'm saying?
He's like that white lady in Uganda.
Yo, did you see that documentary?
I still haven't seen it. I gotta. What's the name of that thing? Let me.
I can't remember. We talked about it the other day.
Yeah. Because I'm just googling white lady in Uganda.
I told you were white lady performing.
Oh, look! The first.
Yes.
The first story that comes up: American with no medical training ran center in Uganda. NPR story. That's all you had to say. White lady in Uganda. They know.
That's the one.
What else would she be doing there?
She left with her Ugandan child. Escaped any murder charges.
Google knows me. They know you. Look at that. Literally, I want to show you. That's the first thing that came up. Look at my search results. Bam! White lady in Uganda. Bam!
I think it's on Max, on HBO Max. I think that's where it's playing at. I gotta check that out.
Oh, and she's blonde. Oh yeah. Oh, she was messing them up. Oh man, she went over there with all that.
Literally would push the African doctor out the way to be like, that's not how you do that. Or you're doing that wrong, or that's not what we do here. It's like that's not. So you don't follow standard medical procedures here. Is that what the fuck you're telling me? She literally.
And here come Ear Doctor.
Who is this?
I don't know who it is. I don't know who's doing that. Ear Doctor's producing. I don't know what that is, but that's what Ear Doctor does.
Y'all don't know who that is?
Out the way.
No.
This was the boy that was being a fake doctor, and he got charged for being a fake doctor.
Right.
Oh, what?
Yes, that's
he
true.
What?
I forgot about him.
Where was this at? No.
Wasn't this here in the U.S.?
Yes.
Fake he was treating people?
He was a fake teen doctor sentenced in the fraud case. This is back in like 2016.
And I'm with Jared. I'm like, I need more detail. I need to know
how far
this.
did it get? He was actually treating people working in a clinic or something in a hospital?
I think he was hired in a clinic, but I don't know that he actually ended up he wasn't like doing procedures on people, but I think he was hired by some clinic or
interview process.
Like yeah.
He got through a whole interview process. Fake, and he's a teen doctor. He shouldn't be sent. You know what? Partly he shouldn't be sentenced to shit. Whoever hired this dude
should be sentenced.
Should be sentenced. Like, how stupid are you that you didn't check out anything?
Yeah. And he looks like he's 12 years old. How did he
Well-
walk into any place? Somebody said he was doing, no, that can't be true, Ricky.
Somebody
What?
said what?
He was doing
No, was it?
She
Oh,
joking.
somebody,
She's not
somebody.
a joker. So.
Now the penalties get ramped up.
Okay, now he needs to.
Now he doesn't.
Now the penalties get ramped up.
Yeah, I mean, as far as him looking young, it was funny because the surgeon, the plastic surgeon who did my paniculectomy, his name is Dr. Fahn over at Georgetown University.
What's?
I was going to say that's too much. That's too much. Too many.
So it's the little when you lose weight, your lower belly, it just kind of hangs down. That little apron of fat. Yeah, they had to cut that off. So the and it's called a pannus. That little apron of fat that hangs over when you lose weight. So they call it to get it cut off. It's called a paniculectomy. I never knew it had a name. So the surgeon who did the paniculectomy, when I met him the first time, I walk into his office and I'm like, "Where your daddy at? Well, who are you?" This man legit looked like a 12-year-old. And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. You this is very off-putting. How long have you been doing this?"
Yeah, really.
He had very, 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 very Asian Doogie Howser vibes. Like,
yeah, straight up. I need doctors and pilots to have a certain air about them, pun intended. I need you could be of any different whatever background, but I need a certain vibe of. I remember we were in Cuba and a flight that we had to not actually go through. There was like some issue before we took off. But the pilots came on, and all respect to Cuba, but these two young brothers came on there bouncing and singing and skipping through the thing onto the plane. I was like, hold up.
Exactly.
Hold up. I was like, that. I need my pilots to be a little more, you know what I'm saying, reserved and focused. I was like, hold on. I was like, they were like, bop, 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 hola, da, bop, bop, okay, da, bop, bop. And I was like, oh, slow down, son.
I completely agree.
Need to be more serious and sober-minded.
Yeah,
That's
you could
not
be youngish.
Gravitas.
You ain't cutting on me with that kind of.
I agree with that. I need some gravitas.
Yeah, this ain't some cab, you know what I'm saying? This ain't some Uber.
Because then it's like, what are y'all doing when I'm under anesthesia? Which I also found out what they do when they put you in that twilight thing. Man, they be laughing and joking. And then I'm in twilight, so you're not completely out. So I'm laughing and joking along with them.
Nah, man. I need everybody to be serious and focused.
So we got to cover this a little bit. So fake teen doctor now 25. And I know this is like 5 years ago, but I never heard of this.
Remix morning show, baby. You get the latest cutting breaking news.
Wow.
5 years later.
So I think it's Malaki Love Robinson was sentenced to more than 2 years after pleading guilty to stealing more than
Malachi.
My bad. Malachi. Is that how you spell Malachi?
That is how you say it. I even knew that. Kamau.
My bad. It don't look like the Malachis I've seen. The CH, the chai?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So just like a Jamu. My bad.
Ajamu.
A serial grifter who gained national infamy as a teenager when he was in. Oh, wait a minute. He got charged with. This is not even the first thing he got charged with. This is something else. As a teenager, when he was impersonating a doctor to defraud a patient, is heading back to prison after pleading guilty to stealing more than $10,000 from his employer. Oh, I don't care about his latest.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, I mean that. I want to go back to the doctor one. Like, how much shit is this dude doing? Okay, how an 18-year-old with no medical expertise allegedly deceived people in a catch me if you can like kind remains under review. It says ailing, what is that? Octogenarian, right? That's close enough.
What?
Some old person. Anita Moore.
Octogenarian.
Yeah, correct.
Octogenarian.
Thank you, Air Doctor. I knew you were about to come in.
Man, what is going on today?
Was suffering from shark stomach pains last December when she came across a clinic online called the New Birth, New Life Medical Center in urgent care. She called the office located in her hometown.
No.
spoke to a man named Malachi Love Robinson, who offered to pay her an in-home visit. Wearing a white lab coat and stethoscope slung around his neck, Love Robinson examined Morrison, focusing on her legs, heart, and lungs. She said he told her she had arthritis. Then he sold her natural vitamins to dull the discomfort. But that wasn't the last time Morrison, 86, would hear from Dr. Love. She said she allowed the baby-faced physician to return 4 more times, although by early January, she realized something wasn't right inside her home. Personal checks went missing. In a probable cause affidavit, she told the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office that she believed Love Robinson had gained access to her checking account and had stolen her identity to the tune of $34,500. Love Robinson was arrested late Tuesday in connection with the Morrison case, just 2 weeks after an earlier arrest in which authorities say he faked his identity by masquerading as a medical doctor and gave an undercover officer an exam. Okay, the officer. Just because you saw a season of Grey's Anatomy doesn't mean you could practice, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Let me see. So how Love Robinson, just 18 years old with no official medical training, allegedly deceived people in, loopholes, the Rambling News Conference. Oh, he had a news conference? Okay, I can't.
I'm not mad at hustlers until they start ripping people off and messing with their health. Like if you're doing it to somehow scam an insurance company, maybe.
Yeah, and you touching
I'm not too
bodies.
mad at that, but yeah, you doing all of that. That's now you're messing up the.
But I'm sorry. Can I look? Doctors don't do house visits in this country no more. Why did you, and why would you go to a clinic with a Pentecostal church sounding name, New Life, New Birth?
Maybe that's why
medical
you went.
Clinic. And then he gonna come to your house with, come on. No.
But she's 86. I'm gonna give a little bit of, it's all like, when you're 86, you're back to like 7 years old.
But see,
I watched my mother get got by everybody. And when I went through her bank account and you saw she was writing literally hundreds of checks for even $2 at a piece to everybody. So I believe when you hit a certain debilitated state and they come with that little new birth, shiny, save the world. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to take over my grandma's. Yeah, it's like.
But I remember this story. There's also a documentary.
I did see
that. Doctor that fathered
one
over
I saw.
100 children.
Yeah,
that was crazy. And he had he's like, what?
He was like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't understand. They wanted babies. They got babies.
They got babies.
And apparently, and never went to jail, of my knowledge. It's like there was it's like you're telling me that there's nothing in any law or code around you as a doctor giving your own sperm. And they would say, like, they tried to be a little visual or whatever like that, which means he's going in his office after he's seen some patients and letting it all, like, goddamn. And then he's mixing his shit. I was like, yo, there is no jail time for that. So that's the kind of like, yo. I can't stop. Like, yo, that was the most shocking thing there to me. It was like, this is like, no, I don't remember the malpractice thing. But Nick Cannon is doing it the right way.
He's doing it the old-fashioned way.
They know what they're getting into.
One at a time.
One at a time. There may be several at a time.
He's doing it the way God intended.
Yeah. He might be more than one at a time. There's overlaps. One is born in 6 months, and then 6 months later, another one is born, and another one is born. But still.
But yo, I mean, who's I don't even remember your name, but I gotta
my God.
I gotta applaud that one. That was hilarious. Well done. Muata Garai. Well done. Well done. Here's to you. Here's to you.
Right on time.
And speaking and you know what you this mix is for you. This mix is for you. You come with bars like that. We love a good joke around here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ear Doctor, for that.
Man.
I had no idea about the teenage fake doctor thing.
Hey, this Black Power Media. We media. That's what we here for. Give it to you.
Okay. Just do the
I don't know what any of that had to do with Black Power, but we media.
So listen, we got stuff coming up. Kalanji's dropping a classic. Daruba talking about Asada at 1:00. Jackie's gonna join me for a by any means necessary reunion at 1:00.
Wait a minute, at 1:00 we coming on?
As I said, Jackie will be joining me in The Voice
with my
at 1:00.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll be there.
So like, share, subscribe, make sure the bell is rung, and somebody unplug Kamal's internet.
With all that said.
Like, run, do it right now.
All right, let's go ahead and take y'all out to the weekend with this mix right here. This is no other than the Remix Morning Show. Peace, y'all.
We go wild, what? Just sit the fuck down. All the way for 215 the Bucktown. Cause I'm about to go down. What's up? Yo, it sound tight. Well, I bow. We got to blow up the spot because they must have forgot we double trouble, bubble and hot. Well, it's like smack the track up and leave dents in it. The vocalist busting his blunt instrument spit. The magnificent rappers run from it. All fly girls, nipples and toes. None from it. MCs in my circumference. And confront it, son. Get your bro stunning for this. You don't want it. The Black Order, MOS, Dap done it. Who the old time it? Yo, my man, speak up on it.
Take this for example, young brothers want rap, cause in the life they're living, you can't have step. It starts with the young ones doing crowds for fun. And if you ain't down, you'll get played out, son. So let's get a car, you know I fly with. Get a dent full of be out quick with the dope ride, yeah, and a rowdy crew. We could bag us a Benz and an Audi too. Even a Jeep or van, goddamn, we're getting ours, yo. Take a trip up the strip and be like stars, so it doesn't matter if the cops be scoping. They can't do jack, that's why a young brother's hoping to do anything, anywhere, any place. Buck wild in another court case. It's the code of the street.
Let's get into it a little funky right here, right now. This is no other than the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. As we rock out and we take you out this beautiful Thursday as we get you ready for the weekend right here on the Remix Morning Show. I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Hit that like button and subscribe.
Check it out, you got me mesmerized. With your black hair and your fat ass style.
Let's go.
Street poetry is my everyday. But yo, I gotta stop when you drop my weight. If I was working at the club, you would not pay. Hey yo, my man Fife Diggy, he got something to say.
I like them brown, yellow, Puerto Rican, and Haitian. Name is Fife Dog from the Zulu Nation. So you're in the jam that we can get down. Now let's knock the boots like a group H-Town. You got BBD all on your bedroom wall. But I'm above the rim and this is how I ball. A pretty little something on a New York street. This is how I represent over this here beat. Talking about you.
Yo, I took you out. The sex was on my mind for the whole damn route. My mind was in a frenzy in a horny state. But I couldn't drop dimes cause she couldn't relate.
I know you're in the mood. Just go with the flow. And I can play rapping records and all disco. Like Beat Billie Jean or Michael Jackson or the trenches to your ranking. They gon' ask you when you hear me do it. You will be shocked and amazed. It's the brand new thing they call the human beatbox craze. Make the music love me. It's so fun feeling like a groove. Reach out and touch the
We out of here, y'all. Remix Morning Show. Peace.